Hello my loves, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing really well. It feels so nice just to be sat, chilled out with a coffee, and I'm really excited to just catch up with you guys and answer some of your fitness question and answers that I popped over on my Instagram yesterday. I can't tell you how overdue this feels. I feel like I just haven't really caught up with you in the past few months, and I've just been on with so much behind the scenes of just general life, to be honest. Work stuff, family stuff, you name it, everything has just been going on this past few months. I'll get straight into it. So as you can tell, I've been back in the UK. Flew back from Dubai, we went to France skiing, had an amazing ski trip, and then I was due just to pop home for a few bits to sort out, and then my dad had an operation. I had loads of family stuff going on and quite a lot of stuff to sort out with work, so it just made sense to stay a little bit longer. And then I've been really liking just catching up with all my friends and family and just, you know, being here, being present in like my family's life as well. It's my brother's 30th, so yeah, it's just been so nice just to be here for the time being, and I've just been sorting out loads of stuff. So I've been living in different Airbnbs, which has actually been so nice and definitely stressful at times. I've been carting around so much stuff because we moved out of our house in Manchester back in November and just put a lot of stuff into storage, so I've just been sorting through all of that. So everything that I've been doing hasn't been the most fun, you know, like just stuff like that, sorting through furniture, sorting through all my clothes and everything. Also sorted out a place to live because whilst we're in Dubai we really struggled to find somewhere to actually live, and it was just getting to the point where things were really getting ridiculous. Everything just feels a lot more clearer now. Like I didn't really feel it was right to just come on here when I was in the midst of everything because I was working through everything myself and just processing stuff, but it's actually been really nice. I've been living on my own basically majority of the time, and it's something I never thought I'd actually be super happy doing because I do like being around people as much as I would say I'm really independent. So I've learned so much about myself, and I did move out really young, but I've always either had like a roommate or I lived in like a studio apartment, so I always spent most of my time at work, whereas this has been really nice because I mainly work from home. That brings me up to now. So let's get into some fitness questions. All my questions are from Instagram. If you're not following me over on there and you want to get involved in all of this kind of stuff, my Instagram I'll pop down here. So first question is, let's go, how often do you train your glutes? So at the moment I'd say I train my glutes twice a week, sometimes 3 times, just depending on how sore I am and what I've been training that week. But yeah, I would say twice a week is more than enough for me personally. I think we're all quite different. I tend to get really sore after my glute and lower body days. I'll try and get through these by getting to the point because I love a ramble. Do you still track your macros? Yes, I do track my macros at the moment. I go through phases, to be honest. I feel like I'm really happy with my relationship with tracking. I'm not super strict. I don't need to track absolutely every single thing every single day of the week. So say if I'll eat out one day, I will kind of have an idea of what I've eaten that day just from tracking for a long time. Like when I was traveling sort of back end of last year, beginning of this year, I wasn't tracking whatsoever, but I did have a rough idea. But it was only until I actually started tracking again, I realised I'd been eyeballing and probably not eating enough, definitely didn't have enough protein in my diet. And yeah, for me, I use tracking mainly as a tool to make sure I'm eating enough and fueling my body and my workouts in order to get the best out of my sessions. And that just suits me really well. I think with tracking and just your nutrition in general, it's just about finding your approach that you enjoy the most. You can still live your life, and yeah, that's the most important thing. You don't want to follow any style that just prohibits your days or how you feel, your mood. If it is something that you feel like is dictating or taking over your life, I wouldn't recommend. Where do you buy all of your activewear / trainers? Everything online, to be honest. So I'll get stuff off the Adidas website, the Nike site, sometimes ASOS, this is for trainers, sorry, and just most places online, some StockX, and yeah, that's pretty much it for trainers. And then when it comes to activewear, so obviously I am a USA Pro ambassador, so I shop through the Sports Direct site for all of that. And then Gymshark, off the Gymshark website. My top activewear brands are Definitely. So USA Pro, Gymshark, Adenola. I'm wearing Adenola leggings right now. I like lounging about in these, so if I'm working from home, they're just super soft skin kind of feel. Tala. I had a couple pairs of leggings from Shein. I don't know if it's Shein, when I got those whilst I was in Dubai. I found it quite hard in Dubai getting clothing delivered over there. Gym King, Vanquish, I think that's about it. But yeah, I do shop around, I would say, when it does come to certain bits of gym wear. I like to trial stuff as well. How many days do you work out a week? Do you have cheat days? So I work out 5 days a week. I always try and make sure I have 2 rest days, one of which is usually an active rest day. So I'll get out for like a long walk, or I'll do like a steady state cycle, something really low intensity. Why is my hand? I don't know what my hand's doing up here. And then, yeah, so always make sure I have 2 rest days. Do you have cheat days? I don't really believe in cheat days. I've mentioned this before. I think it encourages the sort of binge restrict cycle. I prefer to have an all-inclusive range of foods that I eat. I don't think anything should be off limits. It shouldn't be saved for one day of the week, because by doing that as well, say if you're in a deficit all week, but then you go absolutely crazy and you eat like 10,000 calories on a Sunday, then you've ruined the whole week's worth of deficit if your goal is to achieve weight loss. Best exercises to trim down your carbs. So you can't spot reduce fat in one single area. This is something I don't think I've ever been asked about carbs. Make sure you're in a calorie deficit to lose overall body fat, and we all lose it and gain it in different places first and last. How do you keep your tan looking fresh? Mine is always bitty. Okay, I've got you here. So once a week I will have a massive exfoliating sesh. I did mention this in one of my recent evening routine videos. So I use these Soap and Glory exfoliating gloves, and I kid you not, in probably 5 years they're the best thing that I've found that actually takes off my tan. So a bath is a must. That's the first one. You need to be soaked in the bathtub, and use these gloves in circular motions. Use some exfoliating like scrub as well, and just get everything absolutely off. Obviously, the longer you stay in the bath, I feel like the easier it comes off, and I have to do that once a week, otherwise my tan is just absolutely not great. Like right now it's a little bit scaly, so I'm probably due to do that. It's not my favourite task, and the worst part is probably having to get all the the orangey skin flakes off the bathtub afterwards, but it is really good and it just keeps your tan a lot more flawless, and applying it afterwards. Also, when it comes to your tanning routine, make sure you moisturise your areas that it gets stuck on most. So, like your elbows, like drier areas, your feet, ankles, wrists, and just keeping moisturised in between your tanning as well. I find that really helps. And also finding a tan that suits your pH, I guess, because there's certain brands for me that make me go a bit green, and Bondi Sands seems to suit my skin really well. I think we're all quite different as well like that. Like some people just don't get on at all with application tans, and I also do a few layers over 2-3 days if I add a little bit more. It kind of gets better. So yeah, I was thinking this the other day, like I have religiously tanned probably since I was about 13, so it is just part of my routine. I did go through a stage where, why am I telling you? See, this is where I start rambling. Moving on, because that wasn't even to do with fitness. How do you work out when you have period cramps? I don't feel like I get major period cramps, but if I'm ever really not feeling great, then I will take a rest day. But sometimes if I'm on my period and not feeling great, I actually feel a lot better and a lot less sort of bloated once I have trained. But my key, if I'm ever just feeling really gross, I'll put on quite a baggy top, just something that I'm really comfortable in, because I think if you're wearing super tight leggings, say like seamless, tight, sucked in leggings, they're not going to help your cramping. But if it is necessary, just have a rest day that day. If you're really not feeling up to it, I'll go for like a walk. I won't be able to train for 2 weeks, scared I will lose muscle. In 2 weeks, you're not going to change masses. Make sure you stay towards your maintenance calories, so you're not in a deficit, you're not going to lose any weight that way. And yeah, 2 weeks will fly by as well. Just keep your mind occupied and focus on getting all your nutritious meals in as well. Next, what were your biggest challenges during your fitness journey? Oof, so many things. I have got a video, by the way, on my channel, my fitness journey. I feel like I need to do an updated one, because that's been over maybe a year or 2 since I filmed that video. That's crazy. I think time's just going so quick at the moment. Biggest challenge definitely when I first started out, just because I had such a lack of knowledge and I was putting so much time into training. Like I've never found it that difficult. I don't know how, but I've always found the easy part, or the easier part, being actual training, but I've always found the nutrition side, because I've always had a massive appetite, and you girl can eat, so I can eat. So I always found it harder to eat well and to fuel my body in the right way. So my biggest challenge probably was understanding about nutrition. So, educating myself. When I first started out on what I should be filling my plate with, I just feel like I had no idea when I looked back, and I ate so much processed food so much of the time. Like I was having like McDonald's sometimes 3 times a day, and wondering why I was getting really severe acne, and that made me so down and unhappy in myself, and I didn't want to leave my uni hall room. So that kind of reflected everything. And then another big challenge, probably I remember finding it really hard being a beginner. We're all a beginner at one point, and going over it, you really wanted to try a machine but not understanding how it worked exactly, and then being put off, and also just not wanting to look like a beginner. I found that really challenging, but it's just one of those things, once you've actually done it and tried or read the instructions or watched a little video, you go and do it once, and straight away like that you pick things up a lot quicker. So yeah, there are a few that just come to the top of my head. Best exercises to target glutes the most, and breakfast ideas, which isn't oats or porridge. They're my favourite breakfast. So best exercises to target glutes the most, without a doubt, hip thrusts and calf glute bridges. So you can do those with a barbell, or there's so many gyms now that have got these new machines, which I absolutely love, because it just saves so much time, and they're quite easy to load up compared to having to shift out a barbell. So I would definitely say they are like the holy grail, and I absolutely love RDLs as well. But yeah, I would definitely say make sure you've got your compounds, so deadlifts, they're the best for your glutes, floor and lower body, and overall body as well. And then breakfasts that aren't oats, so it'll be up on my channel now. I've recently filmed a video of lunch ideas. So there's these, oh, they're so good. I might make them after I film this, but sweet potato toast with either a poached egg or boiled egg on avocado. It's so filling and full of goodness, and so tasty as well. So definitely give that a try. Another idea is pancakes. So if it's, say, the texture of oats that you don't like, whip basically oats into a blender. I have quite a few recipes on my channel as well, and make them into some pancakes using your favourite protein flavour. Say, I really like white chocolate or just plain vanilla, and then add in all your toppings. Another idea for breakfast, like a breakfast egg muffin. So you could use bacon, egg, so quick and easy to make, or if you're veggie or vegan, you substitute for bacon. Next is, how long did it take you to see results? So completely depends what program I've been following, but if you're curious how long it takes to see results from your current program, anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks of being consistent with whatever style of training or program you're following. For some people it can be less time or take longer, but I would really just say don't be discouraged if you're not seeing things instantly. I do feel like we're in a world now where we expect results yesterday and more instantaneously than it actually is, and I think the most important thing is being consistent with what you're doing. Notice other things that aren't always appearance based, so say how much fitter you feel, or how much longer you can actually work out for, how much better your clothes fit, and if you feel more energized, things like that. I think focusing more on those points makes things a lot more easier to maintain and much more enjoyable than just going solely off the mirror. Next question is, are protein powders actually safe? Of course, this depends on what brand you're using and what is actually in the protein powder. Like, always look in the ingredients of stuff to check things out for yourself, but what I would say is most protein brands are recognised as safe, but it depends on you as a person. If you experience digestive issues, I know a lot of people struggle with dairy-based protein, as that can lead to some stomach upset if you've got also an intolerance, things like that. So it's about finding what works for you again and trying different things. So I have trialed whey protein, so many different plant proteins that come either from soy or other substitutes. I tried a mushroom kind of protein as well, and I do struggle with vegan protein and adding them into recipes that I bake with or whatever. I just think the consistency is obviously going to be completely different to the dairy ones, and like I say, I basically did cut out a lot of whey protein for a while, and I recently started adding it back in and just trying things out for myself and noticing a lot. So yeah, It's all about finding what does work and suit for yourself. How did you get the opportunity with Gym King? Love your content, by the way. Oh, thank you so much. That is really kind and I appreciate you. So I have got management and they deal with mainly my brand deals. So a brand will either approach them directly or they will outreach to brands. I think I've been with management maybe a year and a half now. Before that I did it all myself, but I just found it was quite a lot trying to create content and then manage all of that side of things. I really hope you enjoyed this video and it's been so nice just having a little catch up. If I've missed any questions that you would like answered or whatever, just drop me a DM on my Instagram, and I really hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know what content you would like to see from me next in the comments down below and I will get that filmed, and I'll see you in the next video.